Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics try to hate, but I don't talk back, I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell him all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble on.
Welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, presented by Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill on the For Fantasy's Sake, presented by Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill on the For Frequency's Sake podcast network, presented by Durham Remodeling. I am today's host with the most, except not the most wins in the. If Doug was here, he'd be like, "Yeah, the most wins in the NFL this season." So that's true. I do not have. My favorite team only has 6 wins this year, not 7.
That's all right. That's normal.
If they would have scored like 6-7 in the fourth quarter on Sunday or on Thursday,
Good thing they didn't.
Things would be different. We'd have 6-7 wins. But yeah, meanwhile, Mason's Broncos won. They're going to be
nice.
Probably the 1 seed, right?
They should be. I heard that the rumors that the Chargers would rest their starters because they don't have anything to play for, which would be nice for the 1 seed, but I kind of want to earn it. So hopefully they do play their starters and we can beat them that way instead of just being given it.
Yeah. I told my dad this morning, it's not anything against the Bears or anything like that. But I kind of want to see the 49ers win tonight just because it creates the most chaos in week 18 with, who's going to win that division and get the first round bye and stuff like that. So I'm all about chaos, especially when my team's not involved in it.
Yeah, I think that kind of the same thing with you. It's not really the Bears. I think it's more their fans that are starting to drive me nuts a little, because I think that people see Denver as frauds, and that's fine. I get it, but I see the Bears as in the same exact tier as Denver is, where I don't think they should be or have the record that they should have necessarily, and their fans are acting like they're the best team in the league.
I sent a text this week after Sunday's game when the Jaguars beat the Broncos. I sent it to my group chat, and I said, do the Jags have more quality wins than the Broncos, Bears, and Patriots all combined?
Mm-hmm.
And it really that just defines like how many like good wins. Like, do you count either win over the Chiefs or the Broncos a good win?
I would say the
first one. Yeah, the Chiefs are still in contention, fully healthy. Obviously not with Chris Oladokin under center, but you think the Jags I've also got a couple bad losses, but who have the Broncos lost to?
They have lost to the Jags, the Chargers, and the Colts.
I mean, and the Colts, they really didn't lose.
Yeah. No, that was terrible.
So I'm like kind of like looking at this as like a NCAA tournament, like quality win versus bad loss.
Yeah.
The Bears have bad loss, losing to Snoop Huntley and the Ravens.
Yeah.
Versus really what are their good wins?
Yeah, the Jags have had some pretty good wins, or at least a couple of them. They beat the 49ers, the Chiefs back-to-back weeks, and then they went and lost to Seattle and then got killed by the Rams 35-7, and then beat the Raiders by 1.
Who are the Jags lost to? Cincinnati, San Francisco, or Seattle and the Rams?
Yeah, Cincinnati, Seattle, Rams, and Texans once.
So the Bengals loss for the Jags was bad because that was most of the game was played by Browning. And then the Broncos lost to the Raiders. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Who do we hate least when it comes down to that resume? All right, so quick before we get into things, just give you guys a quick Toys for Tots update. We are in the semifinals of the Grand Champion playoffs. What will end up happening next week is the final 2 teams They'll draft their best Week 18 lineup, so they don't have to worry about the guys that they've been counting on all year to sit in Week 18. They'll know who's playing, who's not going to play, and be able to draft their team. Whoever drafts the team that scores the most wins. So we're down to our final 16. Only one of the final 16 had Derrick Henry on their team. So he's pretty at the top of the leaderboard after Henry went off.
That was nuts.
Obviously things will change a little bit as we go through the day. I'm in the final 16, projected to finish like 14th, final 16, but whatever. And then our ladies league final is Ellie Rangel versus my mother-in-law, Jaquetta Heron. So her first year playing fantasy football, and she is in the finals. So she actually drafted the team. She didn't put it on auto draft. She got a couple players just because they had the Kansas City next to them, so she drafted them. Obviously not very good, but we got a comment here. Let's see. Connor Donovan wants to know PPR: Luther Burden, Patrick Washington. I assume Kyle Williams, I would guess, would be that, and then Josh Downs. I'm going to say for me,
I'd say
Kyle
Parker
Williams has the
Washington.
most upside, I think. Really?
I feel like that's Kyron Williams.
If it's Kyron, you start Kyron. But if it's Kyle,
Yeah, I'd go Washington, and I don't know, Downs has been decent with Rivers.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go, if that's Kyron, then I'd go Parker Washington, Kyron.
I think it'll be interesting to see. He did confirm it's Kyle.
Is it?
I'd be interested to see, depending on how that Indy game goes. Indy Jacksonville. If Jacksonville goes up big, which I don't really expect that. I mean, Indy's good enough with Rivers that they've been in games. I don't know, Kyle. It's really a coin flip. I'm interested, Connor. Or did you go against Derrick Henry, or do you have Derrick Henry? Because I think if you have Derrick Henry, you're going with the safest floor. Which I think the safest floor is. I still think Williams is the safest floor because they've got no Mac Hollins, so he's going to kind of step in that. You're projected to lose by 5. Do we know about Roma Dunze? Is he going to play?
He is out.
So Dunze's out.
Yep.
Roll with Luther Burden. I think he's the most likely to outdo his projections.
Do they play at home this week, the Bears?
The Bears play at San Francisco.
Do they? Okay. I didn't know whether it would be a factor.
Yeah, I think I go Burden.
I would go Washington and Kyle
Right,
Williams if it was me.
Mason is staunch on Parker Washington, so let's go Parker Washington. I think you're more positive in your Parker Washington take than I'm positive in either of them. I think Burden's most likely to outscore his projection, and like Donovan just said, 51.5 point total. So I mean, the implied, Burden's probably going to get in the end zone. That's the thing. Like, I think Washington maybe ends up finishing like more yards, more catches than him, but I think Burden of those 4 guys is most likely to score.
And that's kind of what I guess you're choosing between, is whether you're choosing the guy you think is going to get more catches or the guy you think can go off. And I guess if you're in a championship this week, then choose the guy that's going to go off. But yeah, I watched obviously the Jaguars game last week, and Parker Washington looks like their wide receiver 2, right behind Jacoby Myers. So I think that it's a bunch of wide receiver 2s, and just kind of hoping that you choose the right one.
Right. Agreed. Burden's my vote. I wish there was a third guy here to be like. Connor seems like he's thinking Burden. He's feeling Burden. So
I can
Go with
see
your
that.
gut, my guy. It's your team. It's your bankroll. Burden's where I'd go. I think there's potential to score. Now that just means I've said 3 of the 4 guys. So whichever guy I didn't say is the guy you should probably go with. So, and then we did kind of talk about this. I alluded to this with Connor's question. Obviously, if he's on your team, so like Derrick Henry, obviously, if he's on your team, you'll take the big game at any time slot.
Mhm.
If you're playing against Derrick Henry this week, where would you have wanted that game? Are you happy that it was early, or would you like to see like where would you like to suffer through your opponent having a guy 200 yards, 4 scores?
I feel like I'd rather have that at the very end of the week.
Really?
Yeah,
You'd
I
like to
don't
just
know.
see your lead just trickle away?
I mean, it'd be demoralizing, but I feel like when you're already so far behind to start the week, then it just makes the week not fun to watch because you know that your team has to go off. And um, last week I went up against Christian McCaffrey
Yeah.
and Jawan Jennings, and I didn't think I had a chance. I had to have Jennings and McCaffrey score less than 20 total, but
And then I think they had 20 each.
yeah, I think that they well outdid that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's more fun thinking you have a chance instead of thinking that you're out of it to start the week.
So you'd rather you'd rather do that, do the rationalizing in your brain. Well, if McCaffrey gets 1 touch and then he fumbles it, and then
Yeah,
I mean, it looked good that Juwan Jennings wasn't going to get 20 for a while, and then he kind of goes off. I don't know if you like. I know you're like 12, so I don't know, and I don't really remember what year it was, but it was the opening Thursday night game. It was right after Baltimore. Right after Baltimore won the championship, and Manning goes out there and throws like 7 touchdowns, and him and like
hmm
Demarius Thomas and Wes Welker and Julius Thomas all put up like 30 plus games. And I just remember having a buddy who was playing against one of the teams in my league that had like Manning, Julius Thomas, and like Wes Welker.
that's
And so he
crazy.
had like 90 points, like right after the first game. And I'm like, well, at least you don't have to wonder if you won or lost all weekend.
Right. No,
So,
I remember the game. I don't remember it fantasy wise because I wasn't playing fantasy
right.
that young. But no, that was a great game. That was Julius Thomas breakout. Tate Manning's record year. No,
I, I, I put this on the shot sheet like fully like intending to say, man, I'd rather just be at the beginning, then I don't have to waste my time. But then I like you like rationalizing of if it's Sunday night football or Monday night football, then you're
hmm
like, this could happen. Like,
yeah, because especially because like Jalen Hurts that what week was it? Whatever week it was that they played the Chargers the last week of the regular season in fantasy.
yeah.
Needed him to score less than 13,
And
and
then he
I'm
had
like,
2 turnovers on 1 play.
yeah, like this probably isn't gonna happen. And then as the game kept going, it started looking better and better. And I don't know, it's just I think it's super fun um to root for the unlikely opportunity that something happens and it does. Push crack.
That's fair. Let me look at this. I know this is going to be a little skewed because we have a little bit of. I'm just trying to think of like. I know we had the huge game out of Gibbs. Obviously, Puka had like 45 last week. Henry's game. Has anybody else like gone super off?
I mean, Purdy had a big week last week, but it wasn't like 40 or anything. Quarterbacks don't really score that many.
Right. Let's see. Here we go. PPR. So Josh Allen had 38 in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra had 39. Malik Neighbors 37. Jamar Chase 36.
Bo had 41 week. I remember I had him and chopped.
Trey Tucker's week 3 on that Monday night game where he caught 3 touchdowns.
Where he looked like he's gonna be the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor with 32. Puka 36 in week 4. Dowdle had that big blow up game that Joe likes to victory lap.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan with his 35. Bo Nix week 7 with 40. CMC had 39. I think really the ones where you think about like the huge weeks are like when nobody else has a huge week.
Yeah.
Like week 11 or week 10 this is. Jonathan Taylor 49, and A-Chain had 40.
Keep actually going up against both of those guys.
Well, like I had last week, Puka and Stafford in 2 different leagues. Obviously, I'm playing this week in both those leagues.
Right.
Let's get to Michael's question, and we'll continue here. Hello, Flex full PPR question. Michael Carter, Dylan Sampson / Raheem Sanders, Darnell Mooney, Khalil Shakir, Parker Washington, Kyle Williams, Spears. Do you need 1? 2? Skip a few? 99, 100?
If it's just one,
Looks like
that's a lot of
Looks
options.
like PR is probably or.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if it's just one.
Big Parker Washington guy, right?
I am big Parker Washington guy, but
my immediate reaction is Michael Carter, just because he's gonna get the touches. But
yeah, they seem to move the ball quite a bit.
I can tell you it's not the Cleveland backs and not Darnell Mooney.
I feel like no, it's definitely not Darnell Mooney. I don't know. I kind of like Kyle Williams knowing that Mac Hollins and Pop Douglas are out against the Jets. I feel like it's a pretty good matchup.
I'm gonna say Carter. Carter's my guy here.
What Pearsall do last week?
15.6, 6
bad.
catches, 96 yards. Oh no, he didn't play against Indy. That was 2 weeks ago. It's against Tennessee.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I'd go Williams if it's just the one PPR, and you go Carter, and hopefully.
And then the right answer is Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, it's like Dylan Sampson or something.
That Philly Buffalo game has a potential to kind of be explosive. It also has a potential to be a dud. So
yeah, I feel like both those teams, you don't know what you're gonna get each week.
I'm surprised that's not the Sunday night football game.
What is the Sunday night game?
Bears and Niners.
Oh, that's the Sunday night game. It's
I mean,
pretty
it's still
Sunday
a good
night game though.
Yeah,
there's a lot at stake.
As a Bears hater, I'd prefer just to watch. Now, is your family Broncos fans, or what's your family fans of?
Yeah, because my dad grew up in Denver and my grandparents lived there for a while, so they're all Broncos fans.
Gotcha. I think you told us that story one day.
Yeah, hopefully I can get out there, go to some Broncos games.
So we kind of discussed this a little early on when we were talking with Connor's stuff. If you played King Henry, if you're playing against him, what's your goal for the rest of the week? Like, what are you doing with your lineup if you have like these 50-50 choices?
I feel like if I had him, then you just roll with the guys that got you where you are.
Michael, that's the follow-up question here. Sorry to interrupt you, Mason. Did you play against Henry or did you play Henry? Because that does change my answer. But continue. I apologize.
No, that's okay. And then I feel like if you went against him, then you have to go the guy that's going to get the most opportunities, which is probably the guy that you're going to roll with anyways. But yeah, it's for me, I like opportunities. And some people like the big play upside and the opportunity to just go off. But no, opportunity is the biggest thing for me.
This is my RJ Harvey moment here, okay? I'm not going to like grab my computer and bring it to my face or anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you played against Derrick Henry, and like the answer is not Trey McBride to who you were starting in your tight end slot, go pick up Taysom Hill, put him in your lineup. I think if you're looking for upside in the ceiling anywhere, and if your answer is not Trey McBride, your ceiling is Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a guy who can go out and put up 30 in some random spot, that answer is Taysom Hill. Now, will he? Probably not, but can he? Yeah. And you're thinking about a guy who has guaranteed touches in guaranteed places, catching the ball, running the ball, throwing the ball. So yeah, go if you played against Derrick Henry and your tight end is not Trey McBride, go get yourself some Taysom Hill. I'll tell you what, I picked up Taysom Hill in a couple of leagues and had him in my lineup over Travis Kelce. And it got to probably about 7:00 on Thursday night. And I said, I may never get a chance to put Travis Kelce in my fantasy football lineup ever again. And I'm going to take him out. Nah, that ain't me. So I put Travis Kelce back in. I mean, he only had like in tight end premium, he had 11 points. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
But did I really want to be like, especially if he went off? I'm like, man, I sat my favorite player in the championship game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's done. We kind of talked about it before the show a little bit, but I can't see him going out with a season like this. I think that the Chiefs get back to basically normal next year. They'll probably get 11 wins, 12 wins, and then he'll go out after that, in my opinion.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. So I think we both agree, safe plays if you have Henry on your team, and then if you don't, find whatever ceilings you can, right?
Yeah.
That being said, do you think Derrick Henry is a first rounder in 2026?
I don't think so, but that's also just me. I've never been a big fan of drafting guys that are as running backs that don't have the opportunity to catch the ball, really.
Yeah.
So for me, no. But I'm sure he's going to be a first rounder in numerous leagues, probably leagues that aren't taken as seriously. But no, not for me. What about you?
Probably not. I do think he's going to be taken at the turn somewhere. Like you said, there's no PPR upside, and Saquon's becoming kind of thing. Is like there's just no PPR. I hate the way Baltimore uses him. What he had 37 touches yesterday, and they're all rushing attempts. Like you can't get the guy a screen. Like he's still like look at his last touchdown run. The guy still moves incredibly when he gets in space. Like it's not like he can't catch either. Like I know that he's never been like a big receiving threat in the NFL, but it's not like he can't do it.
I feel like he almost has more completions in the NFL than receptions.
Well, I mean, he had a year where he had 33 catches, but
yeah,
like in 2022 he had 33 catches. In 2023 he had 28. Like I don't know that he's been on the field for that many pass attempts since then. Like
no, they just use Justice Hill mainly, or Keaton Mitchell when Justice Hill's out.
Yeah, and it's not like he can. I assume he can block. Like, he's a big dude.
He should be able to, but he's also, I don't know. Ever since he's been in Baltimore, he's never really been the 2-minute drill guy.
Yeah.
So something they don't like. I don't get it. He's a Hall of Fame running back. He's plenty capable of catching it. And so if he had say he had 50 catches a year, I'd have no problem drafting him. But he doesn't get that.
Well, like I was talking to a friend earlier in the season, and I'm like, when he doesn't score, he's almost unstartable.
Yeah.
Because you're only getting, 12 points or whatever, based on 8 to 12 points. So if he's not going to score a touchdown, can you really even start him? Like, I mean, obviously you're not benching him. He just had 200 yards and 4 scores, but you know what I'm saying though? Like he has zero upside. Like if we were looking at like these ceiling games, like if you played Derrick Henry against Derrick Henry, we're probably not playing Derrick Henry today. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you're the floor. I realize how ridiculous I'm sounding after a guy had 200 yards and 4 scores, but the floor, Derrick Henry floor is like so low that, and like how often are these ceiling games going to happen? You know what I mean? Like even a realistic ceiling for Derrick Henry has been like 120 yards and 2 scores. So realistic ceiling is 24.
Yeah, well, let's look at his season outlook. I'd say each year he has a couple of these weeks where he just goes off, but really he's been decent the last pretty much since week 6. He hasn't had a week under 10, so he hasn't had those dud weeks where
Right. Yeah, but
I
all
guess
of those, like if you look at it, it's like
yeah,
he either caught a pass or scored a touchdown in every one of those weeks.
yeah. The most targets he had in the week is 3 this
Week
season.
15 against Cincinnati, he was RB 29 because he had 10 points. He had 100 yards rushing, but only 11 touches. Like, what are you doing, Baltimore?
hmm
And he played 37% of the snaps. So yeah, I'm not using a first round pick on him next year.
No,
I might not even like. I think we've officially reached you let other people draft Derrick Henry stage. Like,
hmm
I think there's a couple other guys in the NFL that way, but Derrick Henry's officially in that spot. Just because, like you said, no PPR upside. His most catches in a game this year were against Minnesota. He had 3. Then against Cincinnati in Week 13, he had 1 catch for 44 yards. Ends up being RB 11 that week. And then the week before that against the Jets, 2 catches for 24 yards. Ends up being RB 5.
yeah. Well, let's think of guys that we'd rather have instead of him. So, right, Achan, Bijan, JSN, Christian McCaffrey, Trey McBride, Amon-Ra,
Gibbs,
Cook, Malik Neighbors,
probably Jamar Chase. Did you say
Jamar
Chase?
Chase,
Puka.
Drake London, Puka. Yeah, he's not a first rounder.
Probably
That was just 12 guys I
probably
named.
Trey McBride.
Yeah, I said him earlier. Yeah, Trey McBride will be a first rounder for sure.
I think
if Brock Bowers was this year, he is.
We could probably go 24 guys that we like better than, because
Jonathan Taylor didn't even name.
Yeah. Kyron Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good, but fantasy wise, not worth a first round
fantasy
pick.
sake.
Yeah, for fantasy's sake, not a first round pick.
And then I did have one more thing here. So we just named a bunch of guys that we like better than Derrick Henry in 2026. Do we see another guy have a big week this week? Obviously, I mean, it's hard to project a 50-point game, but
right.
we have a Monday night where we have Rams in Atlanta. Like, Bijan and Puka could feed some families on Monday night.
Yeah, I think that I think there's gonna be some big weeks this week.
Also have CMC against the Bears with not a very good linebacker crew. With no Kittle, so he's going to kind of get a lot of those intermediate passing too.
Yeah, I think Puka has another huge week going against Atlanta.
It's like the only question I have with like that is the game going to be competitive enough to where you need Puka to have 200 yards receiving?
Yeah, I could see Achan having a big week. Pretty much all the top guys I could see having a big week.
I'll tell you what. So we always talk about like, we have like during the Christmas shows, we generally talk about like ghosts of fantasy football past. And I always talk about like, I had a Josh Freeman where we'll talk about that at some other point. Do you even know who Josh Freeman is? This is the second question. So basically I had a year in my league of record where I went undefeated. It was, I think, Matt Ryan's MVP year, and they were playing the Giants, who were like 5th or 6th in the league against quarterbacks defensively, fantasy-wise. And Josh Freeman, who was playing against the Saints, and that was the Bounty Gate year where they were terrible. And so I'm like, I'm going to big brain it. I'm going to start Josh Freeman. Ends up having like 5 turnovers in the first half. I lose the championship by like 12. Or not the championship, semifinals by like 12.
Wow.
So then talking about like ghosts of fantasy football past is like Brandon Marshall. Don't remember what team he was on. It might have been the Broncos when he broke the single game receptions record against the Colts.
Yeah, it was. It's Kyle Orton that just force-fed him.
And it was like week 13, so he ended up having like 21 catches for like 210 yards. I don't think he scored, but he still ended up having a 40-point PPR game. on my bench. And like, had I won that week, I would have, I scored enough that I would have won the championship. But I lost that week because I didn't have him, and the rest is history. And now I'm sad.
It's the bad part about the playoffs is you only have so many spots. Sometimes you have guys that just go off on your bench.
So where would you like? Obviously, like making it at the championship. If you're, pardon me, if you're old enough, unlike you, to gamble on sports. Would you rather be that team who didn't make the playoffs and you're like, oh, I outscored everybody in the postseason, or would you rather make it to the championship and just put up an absolute dud?
I'd rather make it to the championship because then at least you get money.
Right.
I've been that guy that missed the playoffs. I went 4. What did I go? I went like 4-10 or 4-11 one year. And I had more points than the guy that went 11-3, finished second. So I've been that guy that is like, oh, I would have won it all if I was in the playoffs.
Your final seed in the playoffs should be the team with the most points that isn't already in the field.
Yep, because fantasy is 85% luck, and the rest is skill.
5% luck, 25% skill, 15% concentrated power of will.
Yeah.
I agree. So one of my leagues that I was super good in is my first experience in Dynasty. Ended up winning like 5 championships in a row, won 6 of 7. The only year that I did not win the championship was because I did not make the playoffs as the top scoring team in the league and went 13 weeks. I'm not going to say it again, but my record was I had 6 wins and 1 more loss. And I did not make the playoffs because I did not have enough wins, but I was the top scoring team in the league. So
yeah, no, it's infuriating being a high scoring team and missing the playoffs. So I'd at least rather make the championship, and I can at least say I made the championship, have those bragging rights, have the momentum going in the next season, and then make some money instead of being the guy that's sitting out on the sidelines and watching.
So I made it to 3 championship games. And in all but one of them, we decided to kind of like change the pot. Mm-hmm. Where like, most leagues is like first gets 70%, second gets 30%. We basically made it 60-40. So we basically, instead of going 50-50 and basically the championship's only for bragging rights, we went 60-40. So whoever wins still gets a little bit of a bump, but the loser still makes a little bit more cash. So I did offer it to the other team and they said no. And then they played against Derrick Henry last night. So,
yikes!
Yeah,
so I should have taken it.
Yeah, no, it's whatever. In the league that's in, I'm not. We're not going to talk about it because I don't want to curse myself. So, let's head to commercial on the backside. Think about some grievances you want to air. I made a list of things that I like about fantasy football and hate about fantasy football. And for people who are watching, I did not give Mason the gloriness of being able to see the shot sheet before 10 o'clock. So I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. And so I actually have a list, but we'll go to commercial and then Mason we'll kind of talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. And with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. This family-owned business has you covered on all your needs. Protect your home or building from the elements today and get great roof repair services. Need new windows? No problem. Durham Remodeling can upgrade your windows and doors. Whether you want to upgrade the little details in your home or office, or want to tear a room down and start fresh, the expert contractors at Durham Remodeling have your back. Even the smallest changes can completely transform your space. Ready to start entertaining your friends for backyard barbecues? Durham Remodeling will help you plan, design, and build your deck and patio for the perfect outdoor space. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 today for your free estimate for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715.
I just saw a funny tweet here that if Sauce Gardner was an NFL team, he'd have the number 1 pick.
If he was on an NFL team,
No, if he just him was an NFL team,
Oh.
because the Jets were 1-7 when he was on the team, got traded, and the Colts are 1-6.
Oh my goodness!
So he'd be 2-13 right now.
That's crazy.
And what's crazy is like the Jets win, he didn't even play in.
So he's only been a part of one win.
He's only been part of 1 win all year. And it was that win that I think the Colts had in London. And he was talking about how that was his first win all year because he didn't get to play in the Jets win.
Yeah, it's the Jonathan Taylor game, I think.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. So Sauce Gardner's 2-13 this year.
That's funny. Maybe he's the problem.
Got traded from a 1-win team to a 1-loss team, and all of a sudden,
now they're out of the playoffs.
What's crazy is I'm kind of curious at what point Daniel Jones fractured his fibula. Like, was it? I gotta assume it was probably early in that Chiefs game, and that's why they were kind of limited offensively.
Yeah,
in the second half against the Chiefs, but
yeah, because he just played through it. He didn't come out, did he?
Right. No, and then he did the Achilles. It actually probably would have been nice if the Chiefs would have just lost that game, and then they'd have one less win. And then, who knows? They'll screw up the draft pick anyway. It's fine.
You guys haven't had a high draft pick in a while, so
haven't had a top 10 draft pick since Patrick Mahomes.
Must be nice, huh?
I mean, we traded up for that guy, but
yeah.
All right, Mason, let's talk a little bit let's air our grievances. We're about 5 days past Festivus. I don't know if you even know what Festivus is.
No, I don't know what that is.
Like, is that serious? You're being...
I'm serious.
So it's a Seinfeld thing. Do you know what Seinfeld is?
Yeah, I know the show.
So like Festivus was like a holiday for like people who didn't celebrate Christmas. It was on December 23rd. They had a Festivus poll. You just did feats of strength and you aired your grievances. So we're going to air our grievances. Is there anything, and you can feel free to steal from anything that I wrote on the screen. But what are some things that you'd like to leave? It could be fantasy wise. It could be football wise. It can be, I actually, in a couple of days, never want to talk to DJ again. Like, I don't like whatever. Like, I really wish DJ would quit coming into my place of employment, like stuff like that. I wish I'd quit coming into your place of employment, to be honest.
Yeah, you're there just as much as I am.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that came to mind was just Tua.
You want to leave Tua in 2025?
Yeah, just him, because traded for Waddle. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know the concussions, but that shouldn't have changed him to be. He was a solid quarterback the first, I don't know, 4 years of his career, and now he's just not good. And yeah, we're leaving Tua. Hoping that the Dolphins do better in the draft or in the offseason free agency. I know that they're going to have a huge dead cap hit if they get rid of him. It's like 90 million or 100 million or something like that. But I think you have to move on. You saw what Denver did, moving on from Russ, taking that cap hit, and how it worked out for them. I think you have to take a similar path if you're Miami, because right now he is tanking that team.
They tanked for Tua, and now Tua's tanking.
Yeah. That's my first one. I have to think of some more, so you can go if you'd like.
So if they cut Tua before June 1st, it's only a $42 million cap hit. So if they, like, as of right now, like in 2025, he'd be a $98 million cap hit.
Yeah.
It's 42 before June 1st. And after June 1st, it's only 11. Oh, no. Sorry, I mistook. I misread.
Is that just for the year?
Their dead money is $99 million.
Yeah.
And then it's an additional negative $42 million against the cap to cut him pre-June 1. And then cutting him post-June 1 would be $67 million in dead cap. And then $11 million against the cap.
Yeah, so they're kind of screwed by having him, honestly. He's going to kill him if he plays, and he's going to kill him if he doesn't play for them.
And playing might also kill him.
It might. Maybe retiring is what he needs to do. I wonder
So
if there's a way for them to get out of that if he were to retire ever.
I don't know. There are certain things written in contracts. You'd think that his people wouldn't have wanted that written in contracts, with all the concussions and broken hips and
Yeah.
general being Tua Tagovailoa. So feel free to interrupt me at any point if you have anything you want to add. So the things I want to leave in 2025, and this isn't for like everything. I know like charity leagues we don't do fab because it's kind of over involved, but any kind of additions to your team that doesn't require you to spend fab money, see ya. I'm all about like I'm okay with winning things for $0. Like I'm okay with like not putting a bid in, but like putting a bid in. But I don't want like first come first serve. I don't want waiver order. I used to be back in the day like waiver order had been fine if it's like a continuous order, not the worst team always gets the first claim. But yeah, non-fab free agency, see ya. On top of that, in non-dynasty leagues, once you're out of the playoffs, quit making claims. If it's dynasty, it's fine.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, like let the teams that are still playing for something get these guys. Like somebody in one of my leagues picked up Malik Willis. Like, what if one of the teams in the championship needed Malik Willis?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you're playing, and the guy who picked him up is playing for 10th place in this league against a guy who had Daniel Jones and Patrick Mahomes in his lineup.
That's fair. I don't think
Like, what do you get for?
I never thought about that because everyone has the ability to pick up anyone. So yeah, I think the only teams that are in it should still be able to pick them up, kind of like chop leagues, which I know you'll mention.
Yes. Also, let's not let 7 of 12 teams in the playoffs in 2026. Keep it 6. 50% or fewer of the teams in the league should make the playoffs. I'm fine if you let 4 of 12 in the playoffs, but 7 of 12, it's kind of getting a little sticky there. As we kind of talked about, this could be taken into 2026. But that last spot should go to the team with the highest points. That's not in the top 5 already.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So, or make it fun and just the teams with the most points are the teams that make the playoffs. How about that? The records are stupid anyway. Unless you're playing the even amount of games against the people, like, or crazy idea. And this could be taken into 2026, but I like to have it in 2025 too. Game against the median. Look at that. The best teams are the teams with the best records because you played against the median every week.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Or you play every team every week. I always look at that in one of my leagues. It kind of narrows down what your record would be if you played every team every week. How about that?
That'd be cool. So what the final season record is like 150 and 100 or something like that.
Yeah, let me look up exactly what it is here. Do you have anything you want to throw in there?
The big thing that I thought of was the games against the median. I feel like that's something that needs to be more normalized because it's not. I mean, life's not fair, so you can't say that fantasy should be fair. But if you have money on the line, you should not be punished by scoring 135 points and the person that you play against scores 160 when there's guys that are winning games that are scoring 102 points going against someone that scores like 80. So I think that games against the median are a big thing that should be incorporated, and I've been pretty passionate about that for the last couple of years.
So my league record, we don't have game against the median, but the team that finished first went 13-1. Now he lost in the semis to a team that went 8-6, but he was 151-25 against the entire league. So the team with the second most wins in that was 123-53.
Wow.
So a whole 30 game difference. Like imagine if we would have added game against the median, like what would happen? Or we've talked about this in the past. One of my leagues last year, I went undefeated. Well, I wouldn't have existed if we had game against the median.
Right.
It would have truly shown, hey, his team is probably not as good as this other team.
No, I think that should be norm, honestly. Like I said, it takes the luck factor out of it. Like, you still have luck with your players, but in terms of matchups and just being placed against a certain team, a certain week, and that counts as either a win or a loss. I think that it's good to have that option where you should win, even if you have a good week.
Yeah. I also want to leave Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in 2025. The way the way that backfield was used, and I get it, it's good for real football sake, but it's like watching the Mike Shanahan Denver Broncos all over again. Like, no, let's not do this. This is stupid. I hate this, especially when Kenneth Walker's like metric wise been so much better than Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
And we're still like, yeah, well, let's let him get 80 yards, and then we'll let Charbonnet get the last 10.
And if there's anyone that's a Seahawks fan in the chat, I could speak for you guys when I say they should leave pitch plays in 2025 because they never work. And I hear constant complaints from not only my best friend who's a Seahawks fan, but social media also, just talking about how many pitch plays they'll run. They'll run on 4th and inches, and it just ties into the fact that they have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet and don't know how to use them both. I mean, they do, but for fantasy's sake, they don't know how to use them both.
$10 to Mason.
$10.
Mason's like, man, I don't get paid enough in my job. I need that $10.
I need all of it.
And then the other thing, Mason probably wants to take this into 2026, but I just want to leave the Chiefs being bad in 2025. So let's leave that in 2025. Have them beat the Raiders next week because I think we can both agree F the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then they can just get back on the horse. And then I can always be like all off season because some other team's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, well, the Chiefs won the last game they played.
Well, I would like the Chiefs to be good again. Also, I wouldn't say necessarily good like they've been, where they're getting 13 wins a season, 14 wins a season. But if the division can constantly be kind of like the NFC West, where it's a 3-way race at the top, I think that'd be really fun each year to watch.
I mean, even like the NFC East for a long time, where no team had won it 2 years in a row for a while. So
yeah,
that wouldn't be fun. I just want the Chiefs to be better than everybody else. It's more fun that way for me.
Yeah, it's not fun for everyone else.
Anything else you'd like to leave in 2025, whether it's for fantasy sake or for football sake?
I would like not to only talk about the Broncos, but I would like people to stop.
The show for the majority of 6 years has been me
The Chiefs.
So it's fine.
I would like the Bo Nix hate to stop because has he had bad games? Yes, but every quarterback has bad games. He has by far the best stats of any quarterback in that draft class. Drake May is good. He has good stats, but just because he hasn't played as much as Bo has, Drake May started playing like the 4th game or so of his rookie year, so he's got a few games less. But it's a quarterback that's led his team to two 10+ win seasons and 2 playoff appearances when I don't think they'd made the playoffs. Yeah, in
Been a while.
all of Mahomes' career, they had not made the playoffs until last year. So I think that the hate is a bit ridiculous, and I think Drake May gets too much love for doing the same thing that Bo does, in my opinion. And so we're going to leave that in 2025. But yeah, no more Broncos talk. But I had to get that out there because it just infuriates me each week.
Hey, that's fair. Bo Nix sucks, so it's fine. All right, things we're taking into 2026 is tight end premium. Again, Mason, we've talked about this in the past. PPR was introduced into fantasy football a way to kind of like narrow the gap in the difference between RB heavy and wide receiver heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got to kind of correct things that are going on tight end wise as well. I know like the top tier guys are still scoring as much, but if everybody's got to start a tight end and you're lessening the disadvantage of, because I remember before tight end premium, like that league we were talking about previously, where one of like 6 of 7 years I had Travis Kelce. So it's like, he was, I won't say far and above the best option, but for fantasy sake, you couldn't do much better than Kelce. And so I had a clear advantage every single week in that one spot. So tight end premiums kind of like lessened the difference between like Trey McBride and Juwan Jennings, for example.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. I've
Every league,
never been in a league like that.
2026, some kind of tight end premium, even whether it's a half a point per catch or full point per catch, something like that.
Mhm.
We should take tight end premiums in 2026.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's a good point. I'm gonna let you take the next
I
one.
was going to let you take the next one. You go ahead. It's on my list, but you can take it because we're both enthusiasts here.
Yeah, it's on DJ's list, but it's the chopped and the guillotine leagues, really. And if you're not familiar with it, it's where in most leagues it's 18 teams, and you have a normal draft at the start of the year, but then each week the lowest scoring team gets eliminated, and so you can't be last. You can be 17 through first in points scored for the week, but you cannot be last. And then that team that gets chopped, their players hit the waiver wire, and everyone has the same budget to start the year, and you can bid on those players essentially like an auction. So I think that this is the first year I've done it, and I had a blast.
Same.
Maybe it's because I got third out of 18, but like I probably would have thought differently about it if I got 18th out of 18, which I was close. I scored 62 points week 1 and survived. But yeah, it's a blast. I think if anyone's interested in doing a different league format, definitely give it a try. It's refreshing. It kind of makes fantasy fun again. At least for me, the last couple of years missed the playoffs, so I wasn't having the most fun. But yeah, this year with the Chop League gives you something else to root for, and it kind of goes back to the games against the median thing, where you're not necessarily just competing against one person, you're competing against everyone. So it's really, I think, a good measure of skill based on how far you can get. And yeah, it's super fun. I would suggest anyone do it for sure next year.
Do you remember what pick you had?
I was right in the middle. So I want to say I had like 10 out of 18, and I got Nico first round, which wasn't a good pick, but then got Drake London in the second round, which kind of carried me for most of the season.
So I finished 4th
Mm-hmm.
in mine, and I picked 16th. So
That's pretty good then.
The only things that like we kind of talked about this, I don't know if this is on air or off the air last week, is in those leagues I'd like to see like a stipend. So like each draft pick, maybe you get like 5 to 10% more money. So like the teams that are like the back half, maybe they get a little bit more cash to spend in free agency, because I had to like spend big. Like I ended up drafting pretty well back there. Genty, Nico, Devontae Adams, Dak, DeAndre Swift, Stafford, Javonte Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up having like a really good first like 6-7 picks. It just happens on accident at this point.
And it's everywhere.
But yeah, I'd like to see maybe teams that are in that back half get a little bit more. Let's see what I ended up joining 2, because like I just really enjoy drafting.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I got eliminated pretty early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got eliminated in week 8. So much worse than this one. Where did I pick here? Nope, that's the same league. Give me 1 second. But yeah, Chops leagues are a lot of fun. This one was 17 teams, so it ended last week.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I picked 16th. So I literally picked at the end. Collins, London, Montgomery, Pacheco, Olave. My team was not good, but so to last till 8 weeks was pretty impressive, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's super cool how in normal like standard redraft leagues you can only really improve your team if you hit really well on
Yeah.
a waiver pickup, like Michael Wilson, for example, or Rico Dowdle, or trades. But in this one, each week you can improve your team so much, and your team looks completely different than it does when you drafted. I don't think I have more than, let's see, my draft picks went Nico, Drake London, Tony Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Bo Nix in the first 5 rounds, and I have Nico and Drake London left. So your team looks completely different, and
Right.
always adding new players to root for. And so yeah, I'm a huge advocate for these, and I think that more people need to do them.
We might have to find a way to add it to add a Toys for Tots league to it,
That would be cool.
where we get people in there. And let's see. So Stafford, I drafted Stafford and kept him all year. Genty, drafted and kept him. Adams, Collins,
It's a pretty good draft then.
Javonte Williams. Yeah, I had a really good draft. Dak Prescott. So yeah, most of my teams were guys I picked in the draft. So Harold Fannin, I ended up drafting him really late. What's funny is it shows I drafted him in the 15th, dropped him November 12th, and then picked him back up on December 10th.
You got him. Well, that's good timing then, because that's when he started kind of going off, is the month of December.
So yeah, let's carry chopped leagues into 2027. These were, or 2026. These were really fun. We talked about this. This was one of our, I believe, when we were on the rooftop top of the world at Last Picture House. Got to lose points for sacks. Everything else in fantasy football that's negative, you lose points for. You lose points for fumbles. Your running backs lose points for negative rushes. Your receivers, other than you get PPR, but they lose points for negative yards on catches. Quarterbacks, it's just like, sorry you fell down and got touched by a guy. We're not going to lose points for this. So even if it's the same as like calling it a rushing play where you lose 0.1 per yard. Like, I know people who think it's more because it's like a lot of times it's like a turnover.
Yeah, because if you get sacked, the chances of scoring on that possession plummet to like 20 or maybe even lower than that.
Yeah, so let's take that into 2026. You losing points for sacks.
That's fair. The only thing I don't like about it though is I guess you should draft accordingly, but some teams just have awful offensive lines, like Miami, for example. And I know I was trashing Tua earlier, but they do have a bad offensive line.
Right.
And so, I mean, certain guys like that, even if they try and get the ball out quick, then it still it sucks for them. But then you have guys that do get it out quick, have a good offensive line, like Bo, and I guess it makes him more viable in leagues like that. But that's the only knock I would have on it, is a lot of it is situation based.
But what's crazy to me is like when a guy kneels down at the end of the game, you're losing points for that kneel down. Like you're losing the yards on the kneel down. But a guy takes a 6-yard sack and it's like, it's okay. You're gonna go get him next time, champ.
Right.
Like, think about the other like weird like inefficiencies in scoring in fantasy football. Kneel downs, negative points. If a guy pitches the ball on the end of the game, pitchy woo woo, and the other team picks it up, it's a fumble. Like, unless and like so in like my leagues that I run, you get -1 for fumbling it, period, whether you recovered or not, and you get another -1 if you lose the fumble. So we're pitchy woo wooing in at the end of the game, and I pitch it back to you, and it just happens to touch the ground. I've now fumbled.
Yeah, I think that's how it makes sense that you lose points for getting sacked.
And it does, but there's so like exactly. There's so many other inefficiencies in fantasy football. We beat the dead horse on a couple of episodes about defensive pass interferences. And like the one thing we're okay with is, all right, well, the quarterback fell down and got sacked. So
yeah,
And then the last one, don't know how you fix it because it's what happens. So often, maybe a team sells out to win a championship, doesn't, whatever. It's so often we're like you and I talked because I invited you to one of my leagues. It's kind of complicated. It's not just a regular dynasty league, but we're replacing 3 owners this year of guys who either, like the one guy, one of the guys who's leaving, has been to 3 straight championships, is about to win back-to-back, and it's too intricate for him to want to pay attention to it throughout the entire year, which I get. But so often people are like selling out to win leagues, trading first round picks, trading, young guys to try to win, and then, not winning. And they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm out of here. So we've got to find some way to fix that. One of the things that I've said a billion times is if you trade a pick, you owe 25% of the league fee for that year. Make it a half, make it 50%. Makes it easier to find a team if you're saying, hey, we've got a $50 buy-in, but you owe, 25 of it. Like,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like make people pay for tearing these teams apart. Now,
Right.
there's so again, like the scoring with the sacks, there's so many inefficiencies on like trading young players, but like trading your first round pick, you should have to pay 25 to 50% of the league fee for that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes it better to find a new owner because, hey, basically you're getting year one for half or more or less. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
I don't know what your experience is in dynasty leagues, but
yeah, I've wanted to do one, just haven't known enough people to do one, so I don't have any experience in dynasty leagues. But yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I didn't even realize that if a team leaves, then someone else has to take over that
Yeah.
team. I figured they went to waivers somehow or redraft or something.
So one of the leagues that I'm in, the league that we had talked about, if we have to replace more than two or more teams in the same offseason, we do a dispersal draft.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like if a team's void of picks, like I have a dynasty league, I'm part of the picks that I have on this team. I have a third and a fourth next year, 2 fourths in 2027, and a second and third in 2028. So I've literally killed this team in picks, but I'm not like, hey, I'm out. Like,
right.
And my team's not all but just a bunch of old guys either. Like, I mean, it is some old guys, but like I have Derrick Henry and Saquon on this team, but my receivers, like I have Drake London, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Puka, Drake London, Devonta Smith, Christian Watson. So like my receivers are really young, really good.
Yeah, that's a crazy receiving core.
So if somebody took over this team, if I were to leave and somebody took over this team next year, they're like, oh, this is a pretty decent team. Like one of the other things I know you said you haven't done Dynasty. For anybody who's listening that does play Dynasty, somebody dropped like Rachaad White. And in Dynasty, you have longer benches. Rachaad White's free agent at the end of the year. So Rachaad White could be on Tampa Bay next year, or he could be somewhere with a good running back situation. And now I got him for free. Like,
right.
The bench is deep. So quit snoring over there. Let's play a little flex, marry, kill, and then we'll answer any questions that come in. And Mason, before we get to that, what was your best, other than the jersey you're wearing, best Christmas present you received this year?
Well, I haven't opened presents on my mom's side or from my girlfriend yet. So I've gotten 3 gifts. I've gotten a charger, or like a charger that you set your PlayStation controller on, so you don't have to like plug it in or anything. And then I got AirPod Pro 3s. Nice. And so that would be my best gift other than my jersey. But yeah, those are the 3 gifts I've gotten so far.
Nice.
What about you?
My wife got me a pretty cool rangefinder.
You golfer?
I am. I'm terrible, but I do it because I like hanging out with people. One of the things that we often do is when we go golfing is I'm like, okay, we're either doing best ball. Am I still playing? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
when we go golfing, I'm always like, we're either going to do 4-man best ball or we're going to split into two or into pairs and then, play against each other. Because like if I have to chase my golf ball around for 4 hours and 18 holes, I'm not going to have very much fun. I play a lot of army golf, left, right, left, right.
Left, right.
So, but I like hanging out with people. I like golfing. I like indulging in a cigar while I golf. So like and one of the things that kind of annoys me, not that I know how far I'm going to hit the ball, but I kind of like to know how far that I'm going to hit the ball. So I like having like the 18 birdies up when I'm golfing.
Yeah.
But I also like listening to music. So I told her I really wanted like a speaker, like a magnetic speaker that you just toss up on the golf cart.
Yeah, those are nice. The only problem with the magnetic stuff is that you might leave it on the golf cart or like a magnetic rangefinder, which is why I never wanted a magnetic one. So I just have one that
I'm gonna have to put a reminder on my phone when you leave. Make sure. But yeah, so she got me one of those, which I'm excited about. I was big time into why I wanted a speaker for the golf cart because I like listening to music and I haven't been able to find anything. Like your phone's too quiet, but then like you get like the outdoor speakers and then those are too loud.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm just trying to find a perfect harmony. So like this is pretty cool. It's a Bushnell, so it's good quality. Now you've got me afraid that I'm going to leave it on the golf cart.
Hopefully you don't. Well, as long as it's still playing music, you won't.
That's true. I'm pretty anal about making sure everything's out of the cart. Like I'm not even one of those people who leaves like a box from my golf balls in the cart. Like I pretty much clean up after myself afterwards. Like I even feel bad about like leaving the towel they provided for you to dry off the seat. Like I know they left it. I should probably just take this into the clubhouse. I won't even I'm not even a leave the key in the cart guy.
Really? You take that into the clubhouse too?
Yeah. Now they've got to do more work.
See, I don't really ride in carts. I usually walk when I play.
Do I look like I'm a golf walker, Mason?
Well, most people don't. But I mean, I had to for high school for 4 years, so I got used to it.
That's where my dad likes to golf walk.
Yeah, and it gets you tired. I mean, golf in general does. People don't expect it to be as physical of a sport as it is, but yeah, definitely walking, and it's a nice workout. Get your steps in, and yeah. So I always just clip I have a little speaker. I don't know where it is right now. Actually, I should probably find that, but it might still be clipped to my golf bag right now. But I clip it to my bag and just listen to music on that, and have my rangefinder clipped to it also. And so, yeah, I honestly like going out by myself more than with people, but. Yeah, golfing with friends is always
I'll have to invite you golfing sometime, but you have to ride in a cart. So that's the only thing. You can't.
That's fine. I can ride in a cart.
That's another thing that I want to leave in 2025 is that if you're golfing with somebody else and riding the same cart, you should not have to pay 2 cart fees.
No, that's ridiculous. I never thought it used to be that way. They must have changed it. I'm
going to clip this portion of you and I saying leave paying 2 cart fees in 2025 because that's certainly the truth.
Yeah,
I saw on TikTok there's like our places where you can rent like half a cart.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. I think it's dumb that even if you take someone with you, they have to pay.
Yeah.
Like even if they're not golfing, you're just hanging out with them on the golf course.
I remember one time when I was a kid, like obviously like my dad was going to let me swing the club a couple of times, but we went to like 2 or 3 different golf courses looking for somewhere where he wasn't going to have to pay for me to be there.
Right.
And we ended up going to Credit Island, used to have a golf course.
So it's been like that for a while?
Yeah.
Oh. My great grandpa actually used to run the golf course on Credit Island.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Shouts to them for not making my dad pay so I could go out to the golf course with him that day.
Yeah, he must have had it set up nice there.
Where's your favorite place you've golfed?
I've
actually got people listening to this conversation, which blows my mind.
I haven't played many good courses. There's a country club in Muscatine that we played at for golf, or for high school golf, called Geneva, and it's gorgeous. It's a very, very hard course, but yeah, gorgeous course. Probably my favorite that I played.
Here we go. Since we didn't do fantasy Tinder, let's do golf course Tinder.
Golf course.
Swipe
Tinder.
left, swipe right. Glizzy at the turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Swipe right.
I'm like whatever the super like is. That's me. That's the only other reason I go golfing is Glizzy at the turn.
Yeah. It's good.
Have you ever gone to Indian Bluff? It's the one behind the airport in Moline.
Yeah, I've been there. I went there a couple times this year.
They got that concession stand there that you can go to multiple times during the course of your round if you want multiple glizzies. Plus, for $5, you get a pretty sizable glizzy and a bag of chips. Like, where else are you going to get that?
Yeah, no, I actually do like that course. The hot dogs are pretty good.
Yeah, shouts to Indian Bluff. Somebody was complaining about Saki. That's my home course, apparently, because that's the city I live in. And
Saki's nice. It's just short.
They're like, if you want to pay $32.50 for 18 and a hot dog, this is a good place to do it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I got pretty good hot dogs.
Yeah, it's well maintained, I will say, but I'm not a fan of the length of the course. Because I'm a longer hitter, just being tall.
I'm terrible at golf, so Duck Creek and Davenport is fun. I will agree with you there, Stripes. Duck Creek and Davenport is one of my favorite. My only complaint about Duck Creek, super beautiful course, beautiful fairways, beautiful greens. Not that I saw much of either of those things. The clubhouse does not fit the course. Like you have this beautiful course, and then you have a clubhouse. Like the clubhouse
at Duck Creek, you're talking about.
The clubhouse just kind of sucks compared to the course. Like if they had a nicer clubhouse, I'd be all about it.
No, or Emize is building a new clubhouse every time you go there.
Also beautiful. Hard.
Yeah, that was our home course.
Emize is probably the hardest golf course I've played. Very narrow fairways. I'm like I said, I'm a bad golfer, so it doesn't really matter. The winner of the Toys for Tots League, Mason, the winner gets a two passes to golf around at Deer Run. So
what?
Yeah.
Whoever wins needs to take me. I've never
been
there.
Whoever wins has to take me. but I mean, we got to fill out our foursome. So I mean,
yeah. Well, sign me up. I've always wanted to play that course.
Not that I belong there.
Most people that play there don't. I wouldn't belong there.
I would like to go play Glens Creek again. I thought Glens Creek was fun. It was also like, I think when we went, it was 92 degrees with 98% humidity. So it was kind of miserable.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about fantasy football here.
Yeah.
Flex, marry, kill. We should have just like flex a mid-round glizzy, marry a end-round glizzy, kill a pre-round sloppy Joe. Anybody who eats a sloppy Joe or an egg salad sandwich.
Sloppy Joe's disgusting.
What's the course by the casino in Davenport? There's a course by the casino in Davenport?
Oh, Hidden Hills. It's
way out by Betplex?
Yeah, north of 80.
Yeah, Hidden Hills isn't bad. It's got the extra 4 holes out there. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I went there once last year. I went there when the ground was really hard. And so there was not to get back on golf for super long again, but it was a 440-yard hole. Yeah. It was over 400. 430, and I drove it, and like I said, the ground was super hard, but smoked it perfect down the middle. And I watched it bounce, and the rest of it's kind of downhill, and I got up to my ball and shot the flagstick, and it said 70 yards left. So the 360-yard drive, and so now I can just say that forever, that I drove it 360 yards one time.
That's fair. In case you're in a different town, the plan is to have a for fantasy sake golf outing to raise more money for the Toys for Tots next year. So I'll have to make sure you're on the team for fantasy sake. And
yeah, I'll be there if I'm not.
No. Even if you're there, even if you're in Colorado, that'll have to be a week that you have to hop on a plane.
I'll come back. I'll use my PTO.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a weekend, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hidden Hills also. Yes, I agree. I love Hidden Hills. I don't remember their hot dog. I know I had one. I said that was going to be a new channel next summer when I have more time to golf. Because I'm just going to go place because my at the turn is an Arnold Palmer and a hot dog.
That's pretty good.
So I could just review the hot dog and the Arnold Palmer. The only
At
place
each golf course.
the only place I didn't get to have one was Palmer Hills
Palmer's
because
nice.
we teed off at, I want to say it was 6:18 a.m. And so when we got to the turn, they weren't even open at the concession stand yet. So it made me a drink, but it could not get a glizzy.
Yeah, I love Palmer.
So we're gonna flex Saucy, marry Indian Bluff, and kill Palmer Hills glizzy wise.
That's fair. Just because you didn't have one.
Just because I didn't get one.
Yeah.
All right, but flex, marry, kill Tony Pollard, Michael Carter, Brees Hall.
Kill. We'll marry Michael Carter for the opportunities. And then for the week, flex Brees Hall, kill Tony Pollard. Like those last two, you don't really want to have to play at all, especially in the matchups that they have.
Stripe suggested glizzy reviews with DJ. It's actually going to be dogs with Deej.
I like that.
I got to go with the alliteration.
I do like that.
Flex, marry, kill DJ Moore, Michael Wilson, Devonta Smith.
Marry DJ for the week with Rome being out, and then flex Smitty and kill Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson just doesn't get the ball with Marv back.
I know, it's so sad. All of us that you rode Michael Wilson all the way to a championship berth, and now he's
the reason I made the playoffs.
Yeah. Flex, marry, kill Juwan Jennings, DeAndre Swift, and Wandale Robinson.
I'd probably marry Swift. A lot of Bears love in these flex, marry, kills for me. And then Jennings, I'd flex and probably kill Wandale. The Giants haven't been great recently, especially last week with Jackson Dart putting up no points.
Last week I think in the same league, I had Tyrone Tracy and Theo Johnson. I'm like, what is happening in this game?
I know. They didn't throw the ball until like halfway through the second quarter. I scored 136 despite Jackson Dart getting 0.
That's crazy.
It was very sad because I could have had a chance to make it to the championship.
And then last one here, flex, marry, kill, Kenneth Gainwell, AJ Brown, Jacoby Myers.
I think you have to marry AJ Brown with how he's played the second half of the season ever since he complained. And then who was the first name?
Kenneth Gainwell.
I'd flex Jacoby and kill Gainwell.
Do you know Gainwell leads the Steelers in receptions?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
I heard that
crazy.
This morning. Because they're like, somebody's like, well, what are they going to do without DK? And they're like, well, Kenneth Gainwell leads the team in receptions.
Does Aaron Rodgers check it down a bunch?
A lot, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the Steelers at all this year.
All right. Let's think ahead here. Who's going to be your QB1 for 2026?
Ooh, I like that. We'll go Trevor Lawrence for 2026. I think in a second year with Liam Cohen, he's already I think he's almost top 5 in quarterbacks this year. I think next year he's going to be quarterback 1 for sure.
I'm going to say Burrow.
That's good.
Full season healthy.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
RB1 2026.
RB1. I'll go. We'll go Achane. It's the boring pick, but I think it's the right pick.
I'm going boring as well. I'm going Gibbs.
Yeah.
2026 wide receiver 1.
Drake London, I think, has a big year if he can stay healthy and Penix can stay healthy.
I would say CeeDee Lamb, but based on me picking Burrow as QB1, we'll go Chase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. I didn't think about that connection.
And then tight end 1.
Tight end 1. I think you have to go Trey McBride. I don't see how it can be anyone else. But for a fun pick, I'll say Fannin.
I'm going to also go with a fun pick and say Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I
He
can
was
see
really
that.
good with Daniel Jones, and then
He
Phillip
was.
Rivers has kind of moved away from him. So we'll see. Who knows who's going to play quarterback for him
Yeah.
in 2020, whatever year that is. Joe, hey, since you're in the group, in the chat right now, build us your. I was just about to go to ESPN to look at the games. Build us your quad box, but also what's something you hate about fantasy football you want to leave in 2025. Mason, since you haven't opened your girlfriend's presents, has she opened the ones you gave to her?
She is not. I don't see her until Tuesday. So
What did you get her that was super dope?
I got her an espresso machine
Espresso machine.
because she's been talking about that for a while and she likes coffee. So
You've been thinking about her. She's that espresso or whatever Sabrina Carpenter says.
yeah,
It's that me espresso.
yeah. I'm a huge Sabrina Carpenter fan. She is not. So it's kind of opposite what you would think in a relationship.
I love Taylor Swift and my wife doesn't. So I mean,
I don't mind Taylor Swift.
Joe needs advice here. Help him win. Oh, look at how he put it out there too.
I do see that.
Here, let's show it.
Oh, pick one. I couldn't see with your.
Help him win his fantasy league today. Pick one. Brian Thomas Jr., Michael Carter, Stephon Diggs. It's got to be Diggs, right?
Yeah, it has to be Diggs. Diggs or Carter. Anyone but Brian Thomas Jr.
I would agree. Stripes wants to know most underrated QB1 in the league right now. I think he wants us to say Caleb Williams, but I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I was thinking Trevor. I'll go. Just based off the meaning of underrated, I think Bo. I think that he's a solid quarterback.
He was a top 10 pick, my guy.
So Trevor was the first pick.
Just because he sucks doesn't make him underrated.
He doesn't suck.
He does suck.
He's a great.
Most underrated.
He's good.
Most underrated
He's a top,
QB1, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, I do like that. Jacoby Brissett. I would like to see Jacoby get a starting job somewhere. Him and Jameis Winston.
You know who I really like is I'm not saying overrated, but like a lot more than other people's Baker.
Yeah. I couldn't stand him in college, but I love him now.
I think another player I really enjoy watching and enjoy like for fantasy sake. Obviously, like I understand the complaints if I'm a fan of his team, but I really enjoy Dak.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Joe's quad box here. Browns, Steelers, Panthers, Seahawks, Bucks, Fins, Jags, Colts. Probably a good call. I'm going to red zone channel it just because there's so much I needed to watch fantasy relevancy.
Bucks, Fins? Does Joe must have someone.
Fan. He's a Dolphin fan.
He's a Dolphins fan? Yeah. I did not know that.
That's silly because, like some people have 1A, 1B teams.
Yeah.
I don't because I don't like football nearly as much as Joe. I hate watch every other team. So I don't have that 1B. Like we have a buddy who's a Bears fan, but also claims to be a Jags fan. Hey, look at this. We have a question. Start 2, Pollard, Michael Carter, Jalen Waddell.
Jeez.
So who are we not picking between those guys? Pollard's actually been pretty decent.
Yeah, I honestly, the first thought was thinking Waddle, or benching Waddle. Thoughts on London? Only other option would be Waddle or Burden.
Roll London.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm not benching Drake London in a championship game.
He's been so bad with Kirk Cousins the last 2 years.
Yeah, but are you trusting Luther Burden or Jalen Waddle more? Because I'm not.
No.
And it's how can I bench Drake London in a championship game?
I know. I feel like you have to ride with him also, but it's just those are not. That's not a good situation to be in because Kirk Cousins kills Drake London's value. Drake London was so good with Penix. Maybe it's because he's force fed, but I almost like Burton more than London this week.
Gross.
I know it is.
I mean, at least you have like all day today to decide if you want Burton or London. You can just like keep swapping them in and out, and wherever you land at 7:25 p.m. is where you're starting. The words that I was just about to come out of my mouth just like went food. I had a buddy who had asked me in a championship game if he should start Caleb or Tyler Shock, and I'm like, man. JJ Keats 1262. I'm curious, why do you think you net upside? Did you face Derrick Henry?
Maybe.
I'm thinking upside wise, like Burden's probably your chance for the upside. Like we talked about earlier in the show, I think that he'll probably score, and it's got that large over under.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of the guy they call Trey McBride makes me confident in Arizona. Now, if Marv wasn't playing, Mazda Marv, as somebody on Reddit called him, if he wasn't playing, I would fire up Michael Wilson, but there's nothing that makes me confident to say I'm trusting this guy to win me a fantasy championship in Arizona. Other than even obviously Trey.
And even Trey had a bad week last week. He got
but they're playing Cincinnati.
Backup tight end Higgins had more than he did.
All right, Mason. Last question for 2025. It's literally our last show of 2025. Not only is it our championship week show, we won't have one next week, but it's also the new year later this week. I was more conflicted with Pollard, Carter, Waddle. I've heard it like 3 different variants.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't know. I'd probably go.
Did he mention if it was PPR or not?
DJ Moore might not play tonight. I think I did just see that on Twitter.
Well,
DJ Moore and Olamides Akias added to the injury report due to illness.
The guy in Washington, Chris Rodriguez, did he have the flu or whatever? Like all of a sudden it's on the injury report and then doesn't play on Thursday?
He might have. I did not see why he was out, but I did know he was out.
Of Pollard, Carter, Waddle, I'm sitting Carter. Pollard's doing pretty good.
Waddle was solid last week.
Yeah, you saw him a lot. Not as often as he saw what's his face? The guy formerly known as Mr. Kelsey Plum.
Darren Waller.
Yeah. Kittle may also be out, yeah. That's a big bump to Juwan Jennings if there's no Kittle.
Yeah.
Again, CMC, like we talked to, obviously you would never sit CMC, and you're kind of not in a situation where you're sitting Juwan Jennings in a championship game either, but CMC you'll see like that intermediate. Like between the red zones, between the 20s, CMC gets a bump on the intermediate, and then in the red zone, Juwan Jennings gets the tick. So non-fantasy wise, so not for fantasy sake, Mason. And if Stripes and Joe and Mr. JJ Keats, whoever's in here, be interested to hear your answer. What is so you included, so you and 3 other people, what's your dream golf foursome?
I would go Max Homa. And then, hey, if I'm thinking just PGA Tour golfers because I don't know. Or actually, I'll go Max Homa. I'll go Stephen Curry. And then we'll go Justin Thomas. I think that would be a fun group.
Your answer was so much more literal than mine. So I never got to golf. I wasn't a golfer when my grandpa was alive and golfing. So I'd take my dad, my grandpa, and Travis Kelce.
That's pretty good.
That would be my.
That's a nice answer.
I feel like Travis Kelce would be fun to be on the golf course with. So obviously,
I think he'd be fun to be anywhere with. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, I'd obviously want to golf with my grandpa. Never got to golf with him, and
Yeah.
I couldn't golf with my grandpa without golfing with my dad. So got to take him.
No, that's a nice wholesome answer.
Yeah, and then Travis Kelce gets the final nod. All right. Anything Joe thinks he wants to leave behind having to worry about my fantasy team on Christmas. I didn't personally, but I know some sickos had to. I did. I mean, I was definitely checking my scores, 3 fantasy championship games. Would be interested to see. Next year is going to be even more wild because Christmas is Friday. So they're going to have a Christmas Eve Thursday night game, I would assume. And then you're going to have the triple header on Saturday. Then you're probably going to have at least 1 or 2 games on Saturday. Then you're going to have the Sunday slate, and then you're going to have Monday. So you're going to have 5 days of Christmas, just absolute toxicity fantasy football. And we'll be here to cover it all. Not really. But it is kind of crazy, like doing like today's show. Obviously, we made it fun. I think I had fun. But like thinking that there were 3, 4, 5 games into the season or into the week already.
Mm-hmm.
The next year will probably be like 6 or 7 games into the week by Sunday come.
I know. I've always been a little. I've never been a fan of that at the end of the year when they put games on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and just keep it how it is.
Like I said, next year it's going to be crazy with Christmas being Friday, so they'll definitely have that Thursday game.
Yeah.
And Christmas Eve. So I'm kind of curious why they didn't do like a Wednesday Christmas Eve game this year, especially when they slot those Saturday games. Could have easily done like they did last year with the triple header of the Christmas games, or I guess it was doubleheader last year, where they had them play on the Saturday before and then they had Wednesday. So like the Steelers played the Texans maybe.
Chiefs.
Or no, we played the Texans.
And then Ravens, Texans.
So Ravens, Steelers played Saturday, and Chiefs, Texans played Saturday. And then and then Christmas was Steelers got. That's the that's a pretty good answer, Stripes. That's another thing about the Chiefs being bad is maybe I won't have to schedule my Christmas and Thanksgiving around them next year.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll be all right next year. They'll be better than they were this year, I think.
Can only hope.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to add here before we hit the bricks?
No, I appreciate you bringing me onto the show this year. It was fun. I'd like to be back next year, hopefully.
Well, hopefully you're like having fun somewhere and
yeah, having fun somewhere and then having fun on Sunday mornings.
Yeah. So that for Mason, so tune in. Joe will probably be live tonight with Educated Ignorance. If you didn't tune in last week, Card Subject to Change, his last episode was last week. So no Card Subject to Change. I'm sure the Football Lounge guys will have plenty to talk about. It was weird dynamic for the Football Lounge guys last night as Dan, the Bears fan, needed the Ravens to win, and Mark, the Steelers, or other way around. Dan, the Steelers fan, needed the Packers to win, and Mark, the Bears fan, needed the Ravens to win last night. So interesting dynamic there. They both got their wishes last week when Pittsburgh beat Detroit in a weird game. So good luck in your matchups this week. If you played Derrick Henry, I'm praying for you, or played against Derrick Henry, I'm praying for you. If you started Derrick Henry, we would be more than willing to take a cut of your winnings. I always make sure in this last I shout out, give a thank you. So obviously thank you to my wife for letting me do this almost every Sunday morning. Thank you to Joe, Doug, their lady friends, Mason, his parents for giving him internet today. I don't want you to get grounded, so I don't want to say too much about that. Obviously, thank you to Durham Remodeling. Thank you to everybody who played in our Toys for Tots leagues, all the businesses that sponsored things throughout there. QC Laminating, they donated trophies for us to give to the winners, first and second place, and top finishing celebrity, which hopefully is me. Hopefully I win the whole thing. That'd be nice. I'm sure I'm forgetting a whole host of people. Thank you to WHBF for getting us on the news. I should have read this really quickly at the end as like the end credits were going, but I didn't realize we were 5 minutes over.
Yeah.
We started this thing with, we're going to have a nice, tidy, quick show. And all of a sudden, an hour and 35 minutes later, obviously, like, thank you for anybody who tuned in, asked questions, subscribe to our channels. Again, tune in to Joe tonight, the Football Lounge guys on Monday or Tuesday. Good luck to everybody and your favorite teams on week 18 in the playoffs. If we do have a playoff challenge, the details are on our page. It's $5 to enter. Weekly payouts for top scorers. Can only start a guy 1 week each one time throughout the entire playoffs. It's really fun. It's probably our 4th or 5th year doing that. Last year, I think the winner took home like $220. I don't remember the exact number, but it's a lot of fun. So if you see that on our socials, shoot us a message. The more the merrier. The more people we get, I know that traditionally what we've done is $5 each week of the top scorer, and then the final pot goes to the champion. We had so many people, so week 1 of the playoffs was 5, week 2 was 10, and it just went up from there. So hopefully I think we had 40 teams last year. So check out our Facebook and our Twitter. I know another post is coming out about 12:30. So all right, well, Mason, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy football without your team playing. Stress about fantasy football a little. We'll talk to you guys later.